right-hander Aaron Harang, Cowboy.
You watch Aaron Harang throughout this ball game, and a big issue for Aaron Harang is keeping his weight back over that back leg and using that back leg to really get him going forward towards home plate.
Trying to bunt his way on is Morgan, and he'll be safe at first. That's the kind of speed that he's brought to this lineup. Bunting for base hits, infield hits, and then the next juncture is what you'll see right now, and that's a possible stolen base. Just speed got this one. It was a pretty good play by Rosales. He was playing in, Cowboy, but not quick enough to get this.
Well, the ball looked like it almost tailed into the runner Morgan, and when the ball does that, it makes it awfully difficult for a first baseman to get stretched not only towards the baseball, but to actually get to the baseball because the runner's right in the way.
He's got 38 stolen bases on the season. Not going on this pitch. It's a pitch out from the Reds.
He doesn't mess around, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's got 38 on the season. 20 of them have come since he came over from Pittsburgh to Washington. He trails only Michael Bourne. Yes, his percentage could be a little higher, but he's still learning the running game. He's got a great one to teach him. The guy in the first base coach's box, Marquise Grissom. And Cowboy, when Grip played, I mean, he hit with power. He hit as a leadoff hitter. He hit as a number 3 hitter. He studied pitchers, and that's what he's doing right there.
The thing about Marquise Grissom is he stole bases not only his first 3 or 4 years, he stole them all the way until he retired.
1 ball, 1 strike. Harang to the stretch. Guzman at the plate, and they'll toss over there.
George, you know as well as I do, there are base stealers that steal bases because of their speed, and there are base stealers that steal bases because of their wisdom and their ability to watch how pitchers deliver home and to first. That latter part is Marquise Grissom.
There goes the runner. Here comes a pop-up. They deke him, and if they can get the ball in center field, they've got a double play. They will. Here's the flip down to second. They credit Paul Janisch. Boy, they deked him big time. Morgan slid in. Janisch made it look like he was waiting for a throw. Taveras covered where Janisch would have been in short center. Combine this all together, and you got a double play. That's smart defense.
That is exactly how it is supposed to be done. This is a straight steal. You can see Morgan with his head down. This man right here, Paul Janisch, was the man who came across the back and acted like he was throwing the ball to first base. And now you see Nyjer Morgan just absolutely fooled. Watch this right here. See as he comes across. This is the guy that gets it done. Paul Janisch. That's an extra out, and that is heads-up baseball.
Boy, something the Reds have not done on a consistent basis, but of late they've had a couple of plays that you would put in that category. Janisch deked him early, and give Taveras credit because he had to come a long way to get in to get the pop-up that wasn't that high. And then from there, it's just a flip to first. So they turn what could have been a tough situation into a double play, and Harang can work from the stretch against Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, things are starting to work better for the Reds in the first inning. And for so long, it just seemed like you might as well chalk up a run or two for the opponents before the game ever started in their half of the first inning. As of late, things are starting to swing in the Reds' way.
Here's Zimmerman. He's been swinging in his way for a while. Zimmerman last night had an 0 for 2 night till he stepped up in the 7th and banged a base hit into left. That stretched his hitting streak to 16 straight. He's hit in over 16 games twice this year. He had this 16-game streak now, and before that he had a 30-game streak. That's a big year for a big-time player. Bouncer down to Brandon. Well, that takes care of it. A base hit, nothing to show for it. Reds go to work. Gonzalez to Boston today. That means Paul Janisch will be in short. He'll take Gonzalez's spot, number 2 in the lineup behind Willie Taveras. Joey Votto hits in the 3-hole. Then Brandon Phillips will be your cleanup hitter. Lance Dixon, how about Johnny? Career against the Nationals, 7 for 13, 3 homers. And oh, by the way, he had 3 homers last night. Adam Rosales, Craig Tatum, and Aaron Harang. That's your 1 through 9 starting batting order for Dusty Baker and the Reds. And here comes the 25-year-old right-hander for the Washington Nationals, Garrett Mock.
Well, you look at the difference in these numbers right here. 18 relief, 18 games total. He's only had 5 starts. He was sent down to the minor leagues to get 8 or 9 starts in, just to get his innings built up. Now that he's got 5 starts in, he's still just a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, working on the changeup.
Tough place to learn a pitch up here, huh?
I'm telling you. But they like his arm, and probably more than anything else, they like his makeup, George. They like the fact that he's not intimidated on the mound, and he'll go after hitters.
He's a bulldog of a young man. In fact, there's a guy in the bullpen for the Nationals who he reminds you a little bit of. That's Ron Vallone. Vallone from the left side, very similar the way he's set up. He looked a lot like him, and he had a very compact motion like this as well. Vallone, of course, spent most of his career bouncing back and forth from the starting to the relieving part of the pitching game.
There's so many things that you can teach a player in this game of baseball, whether it's how to catch the ball, how to swing the bat, how to pitch, but you can't give them intestinal fortitude. They come with that. Because in this game, as with any sport, George, if you're scared, you better go get a real job, as they say.
Fortunately, not many of us have had to have a real job, right?
Be afraid.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Taveras. The umpiring crew, Andy Fletcher behind home plate. You just saw Greg Gibson down at first. Angel Campos is at second, and the crew chief, Tim McClellan, is down at third. Just like pitchers get accolades for a game like last night, Bronson Arroyo did. A complete game shutout, 7-0, and he did it in 2 hours and 5 minutes. After the game last night, this umpiring crew was high-fiving Tim McClellan as he went off the field, because he'll take the 2 hour and 5 game as a home plate umpire, just like Bronson did as a starter.
Well, it makes it easy for the umpire when the pitcher is firing into that strike zone.
Down to third, but foul.
And it's only human nature, George. It's not anything that an umpire tries to do or anything else. But if you're throwing a lot of strikes, you're going to get borderline pitches. If you're throwing a lot of balls, you may not get a pitch that's right down the heart of the plate.
Try it again, 3-2. Inside ball 4. Well, you saw the Nationals try to get the running game going. Let's see what Willie does for the Reds to try to get the Cincinnati running game going. Here's the defense for Washington. The Nationals last in the league in defense, 101 errors. Willie Harrison left, Niger Morgan in center. Willingham moves to right. Brian Zimmerman, 13 errors, but solid defense at third. Alberto Gonzalez will be replaced by Guzman. The second baseman for tonight's game will be Ronnie Belliard. Nieves behind the plate, and Mock on the mound throwing to Nieves. Here's Janisch, Paul in the number 2 spot in at 216. No homers, 3 knocked in. You know about his glove. The biggest question whether this guy can be an everyday shortstop in the major leagues is what will he do with the bat. And we've seen marked improvement this year the way he handles the bat. You know his glove and his arm are good enough to play up here.
But the thing with anybody that has a part-time playing role at a big league level, you're never going to really know about them until they get everyday play.
Take Ryan Hannigan, for instance, this year.
I mean, Hannigan has done a phenomenal job in coming off the bench and playing and doing what he has to do. But he is not the norm. I mean, he's the exception to the rule. It's very difficult to do what Ryan Hannigan has done, and that's pinch hit his way into the lineup.
No balls, 2 strikes. Short lead for Taveras. Down and away.
And you can already see with Garrett Mock that he is pitching like a reliever. He is coming in almost in strikeout mode for every batter that comes to home plate, and that's tough to do for 6 or 7 innings. Instead of pitching away from, he's pitching away from contact instead of to contact.
Pop to the right side, Belliard going over. In comes Willingham. He'll call him off, and there's your first out. And still anchored down at first is Taveras. There comes Joey Votto in at 315, 17 homers, 54 knocked in. Joey steps to the plate now with 17 doubles, a triple to go along with those 17 homers. A little bigger lead for Taveras down at first. We talked about the aggressiveness of Nyjer Morgan as a base stealer, and a lot of that is fueled by the philosophy of Jim Riggleman and also by Marquise Grissom, who stole over 400 bases in his career. And when you talk to Billy Hatcher, the Reds' first base coach, and a guy who will tutor Taveras, he'd like to see him be more aggressive early in the count.
Oh man, I think everybody would like to see that. For a guy that came in boasting about 100 stolen bases, I mean, he doesn't run at all.
Percentage good, 80% and better is what a stolen base operative wants. But it's not the most important figure. What is important is you steal a base when you need it, in a one-run game or a tie game late. And the other part of the package is the earlier you get to second, the more options you give your manager and your hitter at the plate.
Exactly. And Taveras waits a long time, sometimes 2 or 3 batters before he goes.
He's going. He got a late break, fouled off by Joey. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You watch this break in comparison with the pitcher. The pitcher had already started his movement towards home plate fully with, I mean, almost straightening out his leg before Taveras made his break towards second. That is way too late. That break to second and that move from the pitcher should be simultaneous.
Or earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you've got that much speed, sometimes even if they throw over, and if you get a good break, you'll still be to throw to second.
But if you're afraid that you're going to be thrown out, you will never be a great base stealer. You got to be a gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like coming in there in the 9th inning. If you're afraid you're going to give up a home run, you probably will.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Waved at it, an off-speed pitch away. That's a strikeout. Joey's retired. 2nd out of the inning, and here comes Brandon Phillips.
This looked like the changeup that Garrett Mock has been working on. Ball just fades right off the plate. And you can see the grip right here inside of the mitt. That's the OK change. You put your last 3 fingers from your pinky, your ring finger, and your middle finger on the baseball. You take your index and your thumb, you keep them off the baseball, and then you just let it fly. And the natural pronation of your hand will make the ball move away from the hitter.
Well, Mock still from the stretch, and Taveras still sitting down at first base. He led off with a walk, and he has tried to steal once in these 2 plate appearances by Giannis and Votto. Here's Brandon at 264, 17 homers, 75 knocked in.
I mean, if he's not going to run, you might as well hit him 8.
Hit the nail on the head. No balls, 1 strike. They'll chase him back.
Put Dickerson out there. Dickerson will run. Let him play center field. Which
is what Dusty has done since Dickerson came back. And part of it is try to spur somebody on too. No balls, 1 strike. Not going, pitch out. Mock, the University of Houston product. He was a teammate of former Cincinnati draft pick Ryan Wagner. Wagner eventually traded from the Reds to the Nationals. He's going. It's fouled off. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brandon Phillips. Mock was originally in the Arizona organization and came from Arizona with Matt Chico. That was in the middle of the 2006 season. That's when Arizona needed an extra starter. They went after Livan Hernandez to help them down the stretch. And how many times has that happened in Livan's career in August and September?
Many.
Give me innings, right?
Many. There are some guys that love pitching in August and September, and then there are others that don't like it at all.
We talked about it last night. The 5th inning and the 9th inning, 2 different worlds, and a pennant race is a different world too.
It is. It is. There are some, like I said, there's some guys that absolutely eat it up. That's why they play the first 4 months of the season, so they can get to August and September.
Got back out of play. We'll try it again. 1 and 2.
Look how far the knee has gotten up before Willie Taveras takes off for second base. And obviously this is in slow motion, so it's a little bit different timing. But when you've watched the pitcher as long as Willie Taveras has, if you need 17 pitches before you can run, then you're not a base stealer.
I delivered a message when I came back from Cooperstown and talked to Lou Brock. Lou Brock, who watches a lot of baseball, and he had the all-time stolen base record before Ricky. And he said, would you deliver a message for him? I said, sure. Tell Willie Taveras I love him, but tell him to be aggressive. Yeah. That was what Lou Brock had to say to Willie Taveras. There he goes. Not a great jump, but that shows you how well he could have gotten the base stolen. But at the other end of it, a strikeout of Phillips ends it. So finally an effort to steal, but it comes with a strikeout. Eating over. No stolen base. Still scoreless. A little more like it if you're Aaron Harang, huh? From March the 31st through August the 3rd, that's through the end of the beginning of this year through August, in 53 games in basically 2 years, the run support for Aaron Harang a little over 3 runs per game. And what did he get the other day in his victory? He got more than 6. So very seldom does Harang get that. The last 2 years he's been in the top 5 of least run support. He finally got some run support and ended a funk that began on May the 25th, the last time he had won a game.
3.26. That has to be the worst in the big league support. I can't imagine that there's another pitcher out there that has less support than 3.26 runs per game over that period.
The only other guy that was close to him in the 2-year period was Bronson Arroyo, who was in the same boat for a good chunk of last year. Here's Adam, done at 282, had a base hit. He had the first hit last night off Arroyo, a night where Bronson only gave up 2. 30 homers, 85 knocked in, so he's heading to another 40 homer, 100 run batted in, 100 runs scored, and 100 walk season. In the air to center, high fly ball, but it'll stay in the park. Under it is Taveras. Willie has it, and there's one away. There's your 4 defensive alignment for the Reds. In the outfield, Lance Nixon left, Taveras in center, Johnny Gomes, he's in right. Rosales at third, Giannis in for Gonzalez, who was traded today to Boston. Phillips, Votto, Tatum gets the start with Harang on the mound. That's your 4 defensive alignment.
I wonder if the Reds over a period of time will opt to move Brandon Phillips over to shortstop, if that's something that is in their plans over a period of time. If it is, it only makes sense to give him a shot. That way you don't waste any time next year.
It's been 3 years that Brandon's been with the Reds, and for 3 years it's been talked about. Of course, he came up as a shortstop in the Montreal organization, went to Cleveland and alternated between short and second with Johnny Peralta. Came to Cincinnati and said, I just want to play wherever you put me. And when Alex Gonzalez was signed, it was very clear he'd be the second baseman. There's a liner into center field. That'll be a base hit. So Willingham was 0 for 4 last night, gets the second hit for the Nationals tonight. 1 out, 1 on. Here's Willie Harris.
Well, the thing that you would hate, George, is to go out during this winter, sign a second baseman, and with the thought of moving Phillips to shortstop, and then find out that it's not going to work out. He can't do it.
If it's in your plans at all, you owe it to yourself to use the next 7 weeks to take a look. If we don't see him over there at all, then in all probability it's not in the plans. And remember what Walt Jocketty has done in St. Louis. I mean, he mixed and matched shortstops. You know, it wasn't a question of just one. Whatever he needed, he got. A shortstop for a year here, a shortstop for a year there. Very resourceful in doing that.
Yeah, like with Brendan Ryan. I mean, my goodness, you couldn't ask for better effort than what he's given them there. I mean, they even took an outfielder, and Schumacher brought him to second base and taught him how to play the position. That's where Jose Akindo comes in so valuable, being their third base coach. He just is out there with Schumacher every day.
You've got 2 of the best defensive infield coaches in the game, in Joe Patini and Jose Akindo. A ball's 2 strikes. Willie Harris takes it outside. 1 and 2. And it's a similar story in Boston. You know, you talk about what Walt did in St. Louis, and it's the same story with Theo Epstein. He's had a series of different shortstops. Alex Gonzalez is back for a second tour of duty after today's trade. Votto, foul territory. 2 away. Hey, take Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto back to school with you this fall. On Sunday, the first 10,000 kids 14 and younger will receive their very own Phillips and Votto book covers. Thanks to Cincinnati Bell. Let the Reds help get you back in the swing of things for a new school year by calling 381-REDS or visit reds.com for your tickets. Now, did you get Emily and Murphy back to school book covers? They don't use them in college, do they?
No, they don't.
They are going back this week,
though,
huh?
Been a long time since I was in college.
Now, how in the world did you let them go to Alabama?
That's just one of them.
Yeah.
He wants to be a doctor, and that's where he felt like was the best place to go for what he wants to major in.
Murph goes this weekend to Alabama.
And Emily is at Southern Mississippi. One wants to be a teacher, that's my daughter, and the other wants to be a surgeon, an internist. And he makes straight A's. I'm not arguing with him. I'm just paying for it.
Amen. They both head off this weekend, huh?
That's right. I tried to talk him into going to Mississippi State.
Gee, what a surprise.
Yeah, no chance.
Whether they go or not, you'll still be getting the alumni solicitations no matter where you move for the next 50 years.
Oh, yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a Bulldog. I'm at Mississippi State, period.
Murphy's still a Mississippi State fan anyway, isn't he? As a youngster he was.
He is.
Yeah.
He still is.
Broken bat, left field. Here comes Nix. Got it. Base hit, nothing to show for it. What a string for the Reds. Now 22 innings at home without allowing a run. It's the Tundra or the sign during today's game. Steve Basinger of Cincinnati will win it. Register for your chance to win during an upcoming game at your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Oh, we've seen some big blasts here over the years, Jeff Brantley. We saw Willie Mo Pena hit one up in that area. And of course Adam Dunn, before they built the deck up there, hit one out of the ballpark. Those are the two we've seen get closest to the old Tundra.
Well, even the sign that's in between the smokestacks is actually counts now if you hit that sign, and Votto hit it over.
Yeah, he missed it only by about 10 to 12 feet from those who were close to it. It was the closest anybody's come.
Hit it too far.
Yep. 421 feet. That guy's homer was 534 feet to center field. Got in on the hands of Nix a little bit, popped into right. Willingham there, and there's one away. Remember this one? Adam Dunn, 270 career homers, and this was a big one. And he hammered it, and he just put his head down and went rolling. No, not there. Look up, look up. Went out of the ballpark, and Willie Mo Pena was on deck. And Willie, after the game, said, "I thought I hit him far." The big guy heading towards 40 homers again, and he is clean shaven today. Before the game, remember yesterday he had the old Grizzly Adams look, the Merlin Olsen look.
I never shaved before games either.
Well, he hadn't shaved for about 2 weeks. I mean, he looked like
getting ready for hunting season.
Yeah. So I asked him. I said, "Who called?"
Mama's here.
No, Pat's back home. Skip and Pat are back home. They didn't call. Did Grandma call? Well, Grandma would have called because she didn't like the beard in the first place. They're back in Texas. Boy, it's great to see him and Rachel. Rachel's in town. She came back with their son, and She's pregnant, will have another baby in November. He so enjoys coming back to Cincinnati and seeing friends. Now we miss seeing his mom and dad too. They always would come to town a few times a year. And we miss seeing Austin Kearns, who would have been here, but Kearns on the disabled list. They hope to take the cast off the hand in the next couple of weeks, and we wish him the best.
Can't believe he has had so many problems with that thumb. I mean, as good a player and as good a hitter as he was, you just really wish him the best. You hope that thumb gets better and he's able to go back out and play the game the way he wants to play.
Get healthy, get ready for 2010. Well, this guy got healthy yesterday, didn't he?
Oh my goodness. You look at his numbers now. I mean, they were good already.
271, 14 homers, 33 knocked in part-time duty. That's a bouncer, and he's got another hit. This will be a double into the left field corner. Harris will dig it out. How about his slugging percentage in this series? 3 homers last night. Here's another look last night. Not 1, not 2, but 3 round trippers. The first one, they tried to come in. Don't go there. A 2-run shot gave the Reds a 2-0 lead. Another 2-run shot that just stayed fair. That gave the Reds a 5-0 lead. The last one to center field. Big time bomb. About 415 feet. That gave him the curtain call and gave him 3 homers in a game. The 24th player in Reds history to have 3 homers in a game. First since May of last year when Joey Votto did it against the Cubs.
That's the kind of stuff, George, that you really would love to see a guy like Johnny Gomes, because he's such a good guy and he plays the game hard. You'd really love to see him finish out the run here in August and September with that kind of swing and staying that high. Just see what the numbers bode out at the end of the year.
And you wonder, where does he fit in the plans for next year? I mean, he came to spring training as a wild card, as somebody that, with the Reds looking for somebody to provide some pop in left field. He went down to the final week of spring training before he didn't make the team, and as impressive as he was up here, he was even more impressive down at AAA for the first month plus of the season. And you're right, you hit the nail on the head. Rick Sweet called him in the first time he was down there. Rick Sweet wanted to see where his head was at. Is he going to be upset coming down to AAA? And he walked in there, and from his first words, he made it clear to Rick he wanted to help the team win, wanted to play the game the right way. And just like Adam Rosales, who was down there also, they started to give that team some leadership as they bounced back after a horrible start. Made this a pretty good year at AAA down in Louisville. How many guys have you seen go down to AAA and go hide in the corner?
A lot.
Yep. 3-1. That's up high. That's a walk to Rosales.
Or they'll go down to AAA and say to themselves, I'm too good to be down here. There's no reason for me to be here. And they act like that. They act like their nose is in the air and they're too good for everybody else.
Don't forget, in the Ohio Lottery, the Mega Millions jackpot is up to $146 million. Hope you have a winner. Buy a ticket. You can't win unless you get a ticket. You could be a big winner in the Ohio Lottery.
That's a lot of coin.
Think you could pay for college with?
Yeah, I could knock out both of those with that.
You could buy a college. Send him to your own college.
I don't want a college.
Buy one for Mason. 2 on, 1 away. Here's Tatum. Swinging away, sends it to left. One of those situations with the 8th spot in the batting order where otherwise you might have expected Tatum to sacrifice, move the runners over, but with Harang coming up, and hey, Aaron does have a homer this year. No sacrifice there, so it'll be up to Harang to keep the inning going. Well, no matter what happens from here, right, Cowboy, he's got a home run on his record book for the rest of his career.
You can't erase that, and that's big. That is big, big. Every pitcher, George, I don't care who they are, you want to go deep in the game. You really want to go deep.
No No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Because once you hit a homer as a pitcher, you can really throw it back at the hitter. You can really throw it back to him. But without one, like me.
Swing and a miss, not this time. That's a strikeout. It's the 3rd for Mock. The Reds strand a pair in the 2nd. We're still scoreless. Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. By JTM, food, family, and fun, it's JTM. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Jeep, you talk, we listen. It's a new day. Have fun out there in your beep beep Jeep. A little bit of a breeze on the concourse tonight. Jim Riggleman looking to get a W for his team. Riggleman's done an outstanding job since taking over in July. The Nationals have lost 3 straight, and during these 3 games have been outscored 21-3. Last night, the effort by Arroyo, they got only 2 hits. That's a season low for them. What has the most positive effect on a team? Our text poll question. A managerial change, acquiring pitching, acquiring hitting, or an injured player's return? That's our text poll question for the night. The change of a manager, getting pitching, getting hitting, or the return of an injured player. It's different things for different teams. Text your answer to us and we'll update it for you.
Depends on what you got.
Yeah. You know, Sparky Anderson always said it. I'm in the Hall of Fame because I had great players. I mean,
he's right.
You can be the greatest manager in the world, but if you don't have players that can play, it doesn't make much of a difference. Now, if you're the Milwaukee Brewers and you get CC Sabathia before the All-Star break, there's a line drive into right that'll drop for a hit. So a base hit from Nieves, the catcher, hitting in the 8th spot. You'd expect Mock to try to drop down a sacrifice here.
Well, nobody was talking about the accolades of one Joe Torre when he was managing the St. Louis Cardinals. As a matter of fact, he was fired.
I was there. I was in St. Louis, and he was as good a manager then
as the players
as he was in New York.
You don't have the horses, you can't run the race. Well, you can run it.
Mock tries to bunt, pops it back.
Not coming last.
One sacrifice bunt for him this year. Pretty close vote. Acquiring hitting is #1 so far. I'd say over the long haul, it still stands with pitching, doesn't it?
Mate, that's what I say. Pitching and defense.
bats up high. And having said that, there have been some unique situations that, you know, the Milwaukee Brewers, when Harvey Keene took over in 1982 and the team was struggling, fumbling and bumbling, he just went in there, had a 30-second meeting and said, guys, play hard, win games, and make me look good.
Yeah, there's a lot of that can go on.
And when you got Gorman Thomas, Robin Yount, Cecil Cooper, go down the list, you know,
relax a little bit and start getting it done.
Ted Simmons, that's exactly what they did.
But until I see a hitter go hit 700 for a year, I'll stick with pitching.
One ball, 2 strikes, fouls it off. He will not get this sacrifice bunt down. He strikes out. There's your first out. Back to the top of the order, Nigel Morgan. Well, pitching, thanks to your lobbying effort, has won out at 33%. I'll tell you one thing, the 2 guys we've seen take over in the National League, Jim Riggleman right there and Jim Tracy over in Colorado, they certainly deserve, they're both interim right now, they certainly deserve to be tabbed as managers for next year. They've done a great job, not just the numbers, but talking to players and people that are part of the organization and describing what they've done since they took over.
When you have changes like that, George, I think every individual, when the manager changes, every player on the team starts to look at himself and say, that could have been me. If I don't start getting it together, I might be next. And so everybody starts to put it together a little bit. You get a little more effort instead of just showing up, putting on your uniform and jogging out to the field. There's a little giddy up in your step.
Riggleman managed in San Diego, named the interim manager in July. Then he was on to Chicago, 95 to 99. That's before they started spending the big bucks. And Seattle as an interim manager in 2008.
Well, I've always thought that Riggleman was a good manager. He was the first manager that I had outside of the San Francisco Giants chain when I was coming up. He was our manager for our Puerto Rican team when I played down for Mayaguez in Puerto Rico during winter ball.
There's the 1-2.
Both he and Tom Gamboa in consecutive years were different managers for me, but I had the same pitching coach out of the St. Louis organization by the name of Mark Riggins, who came with Riggleman, and he's actually the one that taught me the split finger. Everybody thinks that Roger Craig did. Roger Craig told me to throw it, but Riggins was the one that actually showed me how to throw it.
1-2 in the dirt. Now, what made him a good manager?
The fact that he was able to identify with your success and your failures, but he was not afraid to help you pull your head out of your backside. And he was able to do that in a relative way that it didn't embarrass you, but it made you understand that you better start playing a little bit better or you aren't going to be playing at all.
He's certainly been a favorite son coming through the Cardinal organization, and there have been rumors in the past that if and when Tony La Russa would ever leave, that he might be the guy who would be called back to St. Louis as the manager there.
Well, he won a lot of ball games, and you don't just win in the minor leagues just because you're lucky. That's the toughest place to win because you don't know who you're going to have.
Left field, long run, Nix. Can he get there? He will. In fair territory, the runner will trot back to first. Good job by Lance. He tracked it down, and they had good job by Chris Spire. They had moved him over about 3 or 4 feet, and thankfully they did. He gets to it before it drops right near the foul line. Nix has come up with good defense the last 2 nights.
He has. The Nationals have actually taken away the step towards the pitcher from Nigel Morgan. He basically hits with a very spread out stance now and does not strike, and that allows him to use his hands a lot better.
Line drive right at the second baseman. Guzman's retired. Another runner stranded. We're still scoreless. Heading to the bottom of 3, top of the order.
produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Great to have you with us at Great American Ballpark tonight. The Reds against the Washington Nationals, game 2 of the set. We're scoreless as we go to the bottom of the third. Taveras, Giannis, and Votto due up. George Brand and the Cowboy Jeff Brandley up in the booth. Jeff Pecoro, Jim Day will be by with Reds Live post game. Kent Dreamweaver manufacturing our festivities for pregame. Had some great questions on the game show tonight. I especially liked the reference to your college. If you missed it, the question was, where did Jeff Brantley go to college? Harvard. There's a bunt. Zimmerman. How about that? Second night in a row, Ryan Zimmerman makes the impossible look possible and converts it. He got Dickerson with a great play last night, and even though Dusty Baker will argue this one, he makes an unbelievable effort on this play.
Watch where Zimmerman ends up when he throws the baseball. He's in the batter's box. He's in the right-handed hitter's batter's box when he throws the ball. That is the most unbelievable charging play I have seen in a long time. Yeah, it's bang bang at first, but where he ends up when he throws the baseball.
It looks from the replay that it's a tie and the tie should go to the runner. But having said that, with Taveras' speed, it's just amazing that he made it that close.
Well, he has to have some semblance of anticipation with Willie Taveras at the plate, but the fact that he came all the way in that far to make the play, it just amazes me, because he was not way in on the grass, and with the stretch of done, they get that little split second. But Zimmerman with a strong arm throwing the ball the way he did,
man, he's the best right now in the league at charging those rollers. I mean, and from what I've seen, the best in baseball. There are a lot of guys that do it well, but the acrobatic throws all right on the money.
I've played with some great guys that could make that play. I just don't know that I've seen another guy make it like that. I mean, Robin Ventura was phenomenal with that play. Scott Rowland, who is now the Reds' third baseman, was one of the best that I played with on an everyday basis. But that play there was phenomenal for a guy that can really run down the line. That was a good bunt.
Yep. It's a bunt that 85 to 90% of the third baseman wouldn't even make a throw on.
Oh, they wouldn't even get there.
Yep.
They just walk up there and pick it up and hand it back to the pitcher. Hang with him, kid.
I mean, you look at a whole bunch of guys that make that play the right way and make it well. You mentioned Scott Rowland. David Wright makes that play
yes,
well.
Left out right. That's right. Left out right. That's right.
Right. He's all right. All right. Back in the box.
He's very good.
Here's Joey with 2 away. Votto struck out first time up. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Votto's retired for the second time. Reds go 1, 2, 3. Here we go to the 4th. Courtesy of Cincinnati Bell. The Phillips bobblehead completes the collectible set of 4 that combine to form a special Great American Ballpark backdrop. For tickets, call 381-REDS or go to reds.com. It's a dandy.
Gold glove and the background and how these all fit together, all together. But I don't get this part right here. the little
You want to shave it for him?
A little fudge.
You look marvelous.
A little fudge. Yeah, look marvelous on Brandon, not on me.
Here's Zimmerman. Ryan with the brilliant play last inning, bounced to second first time up. Took him 3 at bats to stretch his hitting streak to 16 straight last night. Here he is leading off the 4th.
Is there anything to that old saying that guy makes a great play, he leads off the next inning? I mean, you've been around long enough to.
Every time it happens, we got to bring it up. Isn't it mandatory?
Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering if there's anything to it.
At home, it means more, doesn't it? Because you always get a round of applause from your home fans. On the road, they don't notice it that much.
That's true.
You're starting a team today. That's a pretty good guy to have on your team.
You got, yes, amen.
And you talk to this coaching staff, you know, from top to bottom, they're just so impressed. Rick Eckstein, the hitting coach, Marquise Grissom, and Pat Corrales, who's back at the major league level, by the way. Great to see him back. Once Manny Acta was relieved of his duties and Riggleman took over, Corrales, who had been in the minor leagues roving, is back. And former Cincinnati Red. And I don't know anybody knows the inside part of the game better than that guy. You talk about a guy that can steal signs and track tendencies. He's about as good as it comes. His eyes are covering every nook and cranny of the field. And you watch, somebody will be flashing signs to the third base coach, or they'll be looking at the bench, and those eyes have seen a lot and they translate a lot that will help his team.
He's a great guy to have in the clubhouse for a manager, because he is a no nonsense guy. He was that way as a player and he's that way now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Another guy who's a manager in his own right, an outstanding bench coach, outstanding member of your organization, and a great assist to Jim Riggleman since coming back. And he said this guy's off the charts.
Yeah.
Full count, 3-2. Tries to check it. That's a strikeout for Aaron. Harang's second strikeout of the ball game, 1 away here in the 4th. And here comes Adam Dunn. Time for our Aflac trivia question of the night.
Aflac.
What 4 players have their numbers retired by the Expos? What 4 players have their numbers retired by the Montreal Expos? Answer coming up for you. Well, there is only one Expo that's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And there was some, you know, there was a little bit of, I don't want to say indecision, because remember, Gary Carter was also a Met and went to the World Series as a Met. Right. But I don't think there was ever any doubt that he would go in as a Montreal Expo. And he knew, too, that when he went in, there'd never be another Montreal Expo that'd go into the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
The franchise was moving. Le Grand Orange. Rusty.
I forgot about him. I would say so.
I don't know. Dawson. Fire Walker had a great career, but traded away.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers. Wow. Boy, he was something else. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
There were so many players in the days that we played in Montreal that came and went. They were never really a club that had the money to retain their superstars.
Yep.
And with the way that they scouted and the way that they brought phenomenal talent to the big leagues, they didn't have to. I mean, they were in it just about every year.
Full count to Adam Dunn. That's up high, ball 4. So Dunn will take another walk, heading to 100 of those too. That's his 85th walk of the season. So for Aaron Harang, he is now 1 strikeout away from moving up the notch on the all-time strikeout list of the Reds. He ties Gary Nolan for the number 7 spot, and in all probability before the year is over he'll have the number 6 spot. There's Gary Nolan, number 38. Outstanding strikeout pitcher, outstanding competitor for the Reds. Aaron started the night with 1,033, now at 1,035. Paul Derringer next at 1,062. Big Jim's at the top of that list, and rightly so.
That's a whole lot of strikeouts.
In the air to right field, going back is Gomes at the warning track. He'll have room. Dunn is tagging. He'll go 1/3 of the way and then retreat 2 away. How about Claude Brochu too? Remember, I mean, it was instrumental in bringing the Expos there. Something rings a bell that in the Ring of Honor.
It said numbers. Yeah. I can see him hanging. I just can't remember. But I don't think that Dawson is there. For some reason, I don't think he was gone long enough.
Parrish.
So that's one guy that I think is on there.
Larry Parrish. Big time. Yeah. You talk about third baseman.
I think there were 2 in each corner.
Popped up behind the third base dugout. Willie Harris has a strike 1. Willie popped to Votto first time up.
Aaron Harang is starting to loosen up a little bit. He's starting to pop that gun at 93, 94. Just about every fastball. That's one of the reasons he struck out Zimmerman with that breaking ball. He was having to look for that heater.
And what he's gotten back in the last 3 starts is that strikeout pitch again, doesn't he?
Well, the thing that he's gotten back is his fastball. And when you get your fastball back, everybody has to speed their bat up. So when you throw a breaking ball, they're so far out in front they can't hold back.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
For the longest time, I mean, even at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, his fastball was at 90, sometimes 89, 87. We didn't see the 94 that we're seeing now. And you got to make up your mind a little sooner at 94.
Fouled at the plate, stays 1 and 2.
And the way that Aaron throws the baseball, just that natural God-given mechanics that he has and the arm movement. There are a lot of hitters that can't pick the ball up because it looks like it's coming out of that number 39 when he lets the ball go. That's where the ball looks like it just shoots out of there, especially in this white jersey. But that's when he's really got that good velocity going. Just sneaks it right by.
Mechanics so compact. If you look at video of him when he first came over from Oakland and where he is now, boy, he has just reworked his mechanics, starting from scratch to be so much more compact.
That little hesitation that he has right at the end, you watch him as he starts to go. He's got a little V that he gets right back here right as he starts to go home. You can see him just kind of get that big power C is what they like to call it right before he goes to home plate. And that is the one thing that he did not have early in this season. He's got it back now, and it is making a lot of difference.
1-2 again to Harris. Ooh. Harang looked in. Tatum held it there. Doesn't get the call, and it's 2-2. Lazy fly ball to right. Gomes is there with 2 away. He'll put it in his pocket. A walk, no harm in the fourth. Another shutout inning. That's 24 straight for the Reds at home. Became a member of the National League. Names like Randy Johnson, Tim Raines, there's Larry Walker. And you look at the moments and memories for the Expos in that ballpark, old Olympic Stadium.
Warren Cromartie.
That's the Crow. There's the Hawk. They had the Crow, the Hawk, the Kid. They had them all, huh? And the Rock. Rock Raines.
It was so amazing playing in that ballpark, George, and looking out into the abyss, just the darkness that was behind center field when they made that park. It was not made for baseball. It was Parc Olympique for the Olympics. And it was massive.
Now, they made it for the Olympics, and it was supposed to be a park with a roof on it. They had that canvas roof that was supposed to work.
One that lifted up and went back down.
Never did work. Phillips to center field, right in his tracks is Morgan. Niger there, and there's one away. It's a shame we no longer are there. See, those wires were supposed to.
These wires here were supposed to lift that baby up out of the surrounding area and kind of come up like a big cape. This thing right here housed all those wires, and it was a machine that would pull this thing up almost like a parachute.
And actually it worked. The problem was by the time they decided to try to put it up, the cover was rotted. So they went to put it up, and it started to rip.
It ripped holes all over the place.
Remember the leak by third base?
Oh.
Fortunately, it didn't leak on the mound, but there was always a drip by third base. One away, and here's Nix. And without the cover in April, that was a cold place.
Yes.
Good place to pitch, though.
I never minded pitching there. I played in Candlestick, the coldest place in the universe.
Well, you didn't have a wind there. You had a wind at Candlestick that cut right through you. That was the only thing you didn't have. There was that damp cold. I was there for football, Canadian football, for soccer, and for the Olympics too. And we were talking yesterday about Juan Augusto. I'll always remember when they redid the stadium and they reconfigured it, and the visiting bullpen, they put the mound, and Juan Augusto, because he had that sweeping delivery, his hand hit the wall.
Oh my gosh. Well, there was no room for bullpen anyway.
That's right.
And it was crazy. Sometimes you would have to alternate pitches because you didn't have enough room for two guys to throw.
Yep. Three
I remember
balls.
Scott Sullivan here when he tried to warm up there. He kept falling into the field of play.
Yep. Amazing. Here's next. Lance flied to right first time up. And there was Oopie,
Yeah.
the mascot.
That was an ugly mascot.
3-2. Center field. Morgan turns on it, hauls it in, 2 away. Time for our Aflac trivia answer. Those numbers that are retired. Now, we talked about a bunch of them. Dawson, Raines, Ulyss, Cromartie, 2. Carter, Rogers. What 4 players have had their numbers retired? Carter, Dawson, Staub, Legrand Orange is on there, and Rock Raines. They share the number 10. And rightly so. Rusty, I mean, this day and age, we talk about the great pinch hitters. Boy, was he a tremendous pinch hitter. And he was passed, of course, by Manny Mota and Lenny Harris. I think even Mark Sweeney passed him too, but boy, he was an outstanding pinch hitter. There's Johnny. 4 hits and 5 at bats in the series. He doubled his first time up. That's the only hit the Reds have. The Nationals have only 3, and the Reds have only 1. Reds have a double in the second from Gomes. They got a leadoff walk to Taveras in the first, and he ended the inning there. Never did get to second. And Rosales walked in the second. Mock has really acquitted himself well. So is Harang. Still scoreless here in the 4th.
Well, there was never a doubt of the physical stuff for Garrett Mock, and I don't know that there was ever a doubt that he could do this job. It was just a matter of getting him enough innings in the minor leagues where he didn't get into a fatigue factor early in the ballgame where he couldn't throw strikes.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Problem that he's going to have is he's at 63 pitches now. You just don't know how deep he's going to be able to go, because at this level 100 pitches here ain't like 100 pitches in AAA.
Now this has been a patchwork rotation for the Nationals with all the injuries they've had. Pitching coach, the new pitching coach this year, Steve McCaddy. What a competitor he was. What a character he was too. I mean, other than John Lannon, who we'll see in the final game of the series, every one of these pitchers was not in the rotation to start things out. That's a strike. Another 1-2-3 inning for Mock. Still scoreless. We're heading to the 5th. has landed. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. It's great to have you with us. There's a big swing on the first pitch to Belliard. Forget that. That's long gone. Ronnie Belliard, an upper deck thumper. His 4th of the season. And just like that, the scoreless string ended for the Reds here in the 5th inning. And the first run of the game gives the Nationals a 1-0 lead. Boy, does he hammer this one.
Well, Belliard has always had the power to be able to go out of the ballpark at any time. And he gets a breaking ball here that was a get me over breaking ball. Not a bad pitch at all. And he's sitting on it and he hammers it.
Talked about it coming in. He was 8 for 19 against Terang, the best average in this lineup, and he's hit well against the Reds as well throughout his career. Coming in, he was 294. That's his 11th home run. Most of those came as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Belliard's homer makes it a 1-0 ball game here in the 5th inning, and that'll bring up the A base. A single to right first time up. Breaking ball clips the outside corner, 2-2.
And Terang's stuff is still right on the money. I mean, the breaking ball that was hit out was a good pitch. It was down. First pitch breaking ball, you're supposed to throw a strike. Got to just tip your hat to Belliard.
Fouled off, but held on to by Tatum. That's a strikeout, number 3 for Terang. And that'll bring up the pitcher Mock. Here's our Honda standings update. The divisional races. Florida 4.5 back of Philadelphia going into play tonight. The Cardinals a 4-game lead over the Cubs. Colorado only 5 back of the Dodgers. In the wild card now, Colorado has a 1.5 lead over San Francisco. This afternoon, Chicago beat Pittsburgh 17-2. Wells won another. He's 9-5. Tonight, Milwaukee leads Houston 3-0. They're in the 1st. Mets lead San Francisco 2-0 in the 5th. That's at Citi Field. Florida leads Colorado 3-0 in the 5th. Philadelphia leads Atlanta 2-1 in the 4th, and the Cardinals in San Diego at Busch Stadium are scoreless in the 1st. Here's Mock, struck out trying to bunt in the 3rd. If you joined us late, the big story here at Great American Ballpark came before the game. Alex Gonzalez traded from the Reds back to the Boston Red Sox. Traded for a minor league shortstop who will report to Sarasota. And it also means that Kevin Barker has come up from Louisville here to Cincinnati. Barker, first baseman down in Louisville's had a great year for Rick Sweet, and you wondered would he ever get the chance up here, and the way things have unfolded unexpectedly for him, but happily for him, he's up here. Hey, this Sunday night at Petco Park in San Diego, the USA's best high school baseball players take the national stage in the 7th annual Aflac All-American High School Baseball Classic. Craig Biggio will join the live high-definition broadcast. Game time 8 o'clock here on Fox Sports Ohio. Gonzalez, of course, was with the Red Sox back in 2006. Had a good year and 111 games. And Johnny Pesky, the all-time great shortstop for the Red Sox, who's still an advisor there, told me after that, when we got Alex Gonzalez, he said he told Alex after that year that Alex had the best year of shortstop that anybody ever had since he was watching the Red Sox. That's Johnny Pesky telling him that. That's how good defensively he was that
solid.
year.
And that's not the easiest field to play infield on. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Fenway, so don't send me a bunch of letters.
It's better. It used to be brutal.
It's just a hard place to play infield.
I mean, in the era of Rick Burleson and Rico Petrocelli, you got a lot of bad hops there. David Concepcion talked about it during the World Series of '75, how different it was to go from here and the artificial surface. Off the arm, the left arm of Harang into center field. That's a base hit by Nigel Morgan.
He almost caught that ball. How many times have we seen the opposing pitcher a line drive up the middle and it just goes right into his glove? Harang waves off everybody coming out of the dugout, thinking that it might have hurt him. So close. Actually, it hit the heel of the glove and then hit his arm.
It looked like it glanced off the forearm after hitting the heel.
No, it hit his. You're right. It did hit his arm first. That doesn't feel good.
So here's Guzman. Flied out to center into a double play and line to second. Pitch out, nothing going on with Morgan down at first. Niger 38 stolen bases. More than half of those, 20 of the 38, have come as a Washington National since coming over from Pittsburgh. Down to short. Yanish flips it to Phillips. That'll do it. A homer, and that ends the scoreless streak for the Reds. Washington leads at 1-0 going to the bottom of 5. ...2009 Cincinnati Reds team during the Signature Sunday, benefiting the Reds Community Fund. Meet the players, collect autographs for your very own team signed ball, bat, or jersey. More information on the packages for Signature Sunday. Visit Reds.com/signature. Call 513-765-7234. Ronnie Belliard's blast, a home run, gave the Washington Nationals the lead for Belliard, his 4th homer of the year. Here's Rosales to lead it off at the bottom of the 5th. Well, you wondered, Jeff Brantley, if Aaron Harang could have good luck 2 games in a row for a guy who has been either 1, 2, or 3 in least run support the last 2 years. He finally got some runs in his last game and got a victory, but again, nothing on the board for him tonight. The Reds have only 1 hit.
Well, and you can watch Aaron Harang. There's no body action or body language that says that he knows what the score is. He's just continuing to go out there and get hitters out.
So is Mock. That's 6 strikeouts for Mock. Rosales strikes out. First out of the 5th inning, and here comes Craig Tatum. Harang due up next.
It looks as though Mock is using a split finger grip on some pitches, and then using that changeup grip that we saw early in his glove for a different speed on the changeup.
Big swing and a big fly ball to short left center. Morgan under it. 2 away. And here comes Harang. Economical, you bet. Two outs on 4 pitches, and here comes Aaron. Hey, it's that time of year again. Time for Kings Island Cincinnati Reds Day. Don't miss this once-a-year event on August the 17th. Purchase your discounted tickets today at www.visitkingsisland.com.
When you have a rookie pitcher on the mound like Garrett Mock, whose strikeouts and walks are almost identical, swinging at the first or the second pitch is not helping your team.
He'll take that for a base hit. Miscommunication from the center fielder, the shortstop, and the left fielder. Jim Riggleman's looking at the replay board to see how the heck did that happen. Well, the Reds get a runner.
Well, the man that is supposed to catch that baseball is this guy right here. That's the center fielder. He has charge over the shortstop and all of the outfielders. Center field is the man in charge. And he lets the ball drop because evidently he heard somebody else call the baseball. He should have called it, overranked them, and made the catch. That way those things don't happen.
So the Reds get a runner. It is the pitcher Harang, and here comes Taveras. Willie tonight walked on a 3-2 pitch in the first, and robbed on a great play on an attempted bunt in the third when Zimmerman scooped it up, and the replay showed at the very least he had a tie, but he was called out at first. But a brilliant play by Zimmerman in any event.
Fly balls in the outfield, the center fielder takes charge. Fly balls in the infield, the shortstop takes charge. And if the shortstop and the center fielder are both going after the ball, the center fielder takes charge. He's the one coming from behind.
Simple rules that look good on paper, but sometimes not translated. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looped into left, sinking. That'll be a base hit. Harang, he's going to try. No, he'll slam on the brakes and go to second. Harang took a big turn, and for a moment looked like he was going to go to third. I think Mark Berry almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, I almost did too. Hit this ball right off the end of the bat, a breaking ball. And Taveras with that chop down swing that he uses, you could hear the bat snap in half.
Whoa, hold on.
That's a whole lot of body to stop right there. 6'8".
There comes Steve McCaddy, the pitching coach, out to talk to his 25-year-old right-hander. So the Reds have something going with Giannis coming to the plate. What looked like a harmless miscommunication in center winds up putting a runner on, and now the Reds have back-to-back hits, 2 on, 2 outs, and here comes Giannis.
And this is a point where the Reds have really struggled this year, getting runs in with 2 outs with runners in scoring position. And where you could really break the heart of this Washington National club is for Giannis to get a hit. Then you bring Votto and Phillips to the plate, who have the ability to bust the thing wide open.
2 outs, runners in scoring position. The Reds as a team, of course, have struggled overall with runners in scoring position, let alone with 2 outs. And they're last in the league in that category. Giannis to the plate with first and second. And remember, not much speed at second. So it'll take a long single to get Harang home. Pop back. It'll be out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. For Giannis on the season, He's only 3 for 31, 097 with runners in scoring position. The guy you want at the plate is obviously the guy on deck who's been the Reds' leader all year long in scoring position. He's in at 341, Joey Votto. And he's just itching to have a chance to get up there.
I know it. Especially after the 2 strikeouts earlier.
0-2. The Reds 2 hits in this inning. Prior to this inning, they had only 1 hit and 2 walks on the night. Line drive, right center, sinking. It's a base hit. They're going to send Harang. Here comes the throw to the plate. It will be in time. Well, Mark Berry rolled the dice. The Reds have struggled to score a run, so he rolls the dice with Harang. And Morgan, who they try to run on, he does not have a strong arm. The throw is up the line, but Harang is tagged at the plate, and the Reds still trail it 1-0.
Cowboy showed you tomorrow's Brandon Phillips bobblehead day. First 30,000 fans through the gates get a Brandon Phillips bobblehead. Now on Sunday, George, it is back to school stretchy jersey book cover day. Come on in here, Cowboy. Come on. Cowboy had to do the human thing. This is a Sunday back-to-school stretchy jersey book cover day. We want you to show these off, first 10,000 kids. Now, if they had books at Mississippi State, you could have used something like this.
Oh, that's cool.
They had books. He just never got them. He forgot to stop at the bookstore.
However, your kids could use these. It's Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips, and they're actually a very cool item. Stretchy things that the kids can cover their book with. First 10,000 kids. Sunday.
This Sunday?
This Sunday.
So bobblehead tomorrow.
Bobblehead tomorrow.
And then
stretchy, back to school stretchy book cover day.
Solid.
Yes.
All right.
Phillips and Votto.
So
these are actually very cool items right here.
Those are very cool.
Yes.
They feel like real jersey. Can you put that on?
No. But George has a book over here he needs covered.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah. We want Phillips or Votto?
That book's not big enough, though.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to have like a real life-size book.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
Man, let me do that.
I can't believe he let you touch it.
I know. Actually, this is the Bible according to George Grant. He keeps this, folks. Every team he keeps notes on throughout the season.
Does it work?
I don't know. Can you do it?
I can do it.
You're putting it on the wrong way.
It doesn't matter. I'm showing you how to do it.
Well, it sort of shows you.
See?
That's fair.
Than's JD.
You're very welcome.
You may hit a low point tonight.
I can't believe I touched that. You're right. That is like the Bible according to George.
Right. Isn't that cool?
There's every bit of information in the world on that thing.
restaurants where we eat, right, Cowboy?
Right. You could
important stuff.
You could put like autographs and stuff on that.
Yes.
Bring your book to the ballpark night.
Absolutely.
Study at the park.
Barbecue recipes.
Barbecue.
You guys are dangerous. Harang takes care of Zimmerman for the first out of the 6th inning. So Aaron Harang. All right, Cowboy, do you send Aaron Harang?
No.
In that situation at the end of the inning?
No, I don't send him simply because he's a pitcher and he's not a very fast pitcher. Very seldom do I ever disagree with Mark Berry because he has to make a split decision in a hurry, split-second decision in a hurry. But you got Joey Votto on deck, and even though he struck out twice, I take my chances.
The other side of that is the Reds have struggled, and on Morgan, the general book is to run out.
Exactly.
And in most cases, Nigel Morgan's throw would not be near home plate. As it was way up the line.
And the thing about it that shows it to me even more, and Mark Berry doesn't have the ability to look at hindsight the way we do. But you saw the throw. The throw was not very good, even though he was only, a couple 10-15 yards just past the infield cut of the grass by the time he got to the baseball. But the thing for me is if I can ever have the bases loaded and Joey Votto at the plate and a chance, I'm going to take it.
Here's Adam Dunn with the Reds working the shift with 3 infielders to the right side of the second base bag. And the one thing Dunn has done more this year than since his first year with the Reds is take the ball the other way. He got a base hit to left center last night, and here it is, 3 balls and 1 strike. Harang to Dunn on the outside corner. Rick Eckstein, the batting coach here, and a darn good one. Brother David Eckstein. I mean, in his own right, he's an outstanding hitting instructor. Been with our United States national team for years. Dunn tries to spray it the other way. We'll try it again, 3-2. Eckstein, before the season started, spent a lot of time with Dunn. Just talking, there's Rick. Highly respected, tireless worker. He's been a real benefit to the United States national team in USA baseball. 3-2. That's up high, and Dunn has walked for the 2nd time. So a normal series for Dunn. He's had 1 hit. He's had 3 walks, and he keeps getting on base.
The thing that you were talking about, George, with Eckstein is he knows that there's more than one way to skin a cat, and he's going to try to teach you either from a visual perspective. He's gonna show it to you on video. He's gonna put his hands on you and put your bat in a certain position. You're gonna hit off the tee. You're gonna hit soft off. There's so many ways to learn about hitting, and he'll also show you videos of guys that he thinks that are very similar to you, and also guys that are not even close to you, so you can understand in your own mind why you should hit the way that he's trying to get you to hit.
Well, we talked about it last night, and here's Willingham, a single and a fly ball out. That first at bat by Dunn reminded me of Adam Dunn when he first came up from AAA in his first year with the Reds. I mean, he would spray the ball to all fields, and then everyone started telling him his role was to hit the ball 1.5 miles, and he became a different hitter. This year he's come a long way back. Willingham's drawing with the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher, so coming out,
well, it's
is
a good
Riggleman
thing
to step between them.
It's a good thing Riggleman got there when he did, because home plate umpire Andy Fletcher was fixing to take Mr. Willingham and send him to the showers, and Riggleman may end up with him.
A quick move by Jim Riggleman. 1 or 2 more words and Willingham would have been out of the ball game.
That's why you really have to pay attention as a manager with your guys at home plate. And Willingham doesn't like that being called a strike. And when you turn around and you start pointing fingers and shaking your head, you're fixing to get thrown out of the game.
No balls, 2 strikes. Same spot, a little higher. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Harang's smart to go back out there, because if he hits that same spot, Fletcher's going to ring him up. That's a strike to Andy Fletcher, the umpire. But Harang is just a little off of where he was. He's about 4 inches outside of that mark that he got him the first time.
So do you stay out there or do you come back and bust him in?
I stay right there. I just get a little closer.
Done 2 walks tonight, now 86 on the year, down at first. He's come oh so close with each of those deliveries.
Well, Willingham is really looking outside, and he probably should have done what you said, George, and not taken my advice and busted him in on his hands there. Because when you're really looking outside, it allows you to take that breaking ball when it's close, and that's what he did there.
There goes Dunn. A slap foul to the right side and out of play. We'll try it again, 3-2. The pitch count up this inning because of a good at bat by Dunn. He went 3-2, and the lengthy at bat by Willingham. So Harang now at 93 pitches on the evening. Nationals hardly ever run Dunn. I mean, in his career with the Reds, he'd get 10-12 stolen bases a year. He doesn't have any yet this year. Good chance for a strike him out, throw him out. That's ball 4. So after coming within an eyelash of striking out Willingham, he ends up walking him. That's back-to-back walks from a guy that doesn't walk very many.
Well, the problem there, George, was the fact that he came inside trying to get a strike 3 call. And if you're coming inside for a strike 3 call, you almost have to be perfect, and that's too hard to do.
Dick Cole will come out and talk to Harang, and gives us a chance to remind you that you can visit your Cincinnati area Subway restaurant, make a $5 fielder's choice. Just select any sandwich on the everyday value menu and choose to make it a foot-long or 6-inch fresh value meal with chips and a drink for only $5.
But I think Harang is pitching like he should be pitching, and that is damage control at its best here. And you don't give Willingham or Dunn a pitch that they can drive, because both of them can leave the ballpark in a hurry. You've got a guy standing on deck hitting at 228 and a chance to get a double play here, even though Willie Harris can run.
Reds 111 double plays coming into tonight. Got a outfield double play. They'd love to roll their 113th of the season on a ball from Harris. Harris hit the ball in the air twice, popped up to Votto, flied to right. Pretty good speed, cuffed to double up. Reds a double play depth middle of the infield. Back-to-back walks. Dunn out at second. Willingham down at first. Sliced into left with one away. Nix is there. Dunn goes halfway and then retreats. Adam Dunn, when he was with the Reds, I think he had 4 or 5 bobbleheads starting in Dayton, didn't he?
I don't know.
And now we've got a bobblehead night tomorrow night for Brandon. I think that's his second. So Brandon's on the Dunner track. 2 away. Here comes Belliard. He hammered a homer last time up. 4th of his season. And now 9 for 21 against Harang in his career. And Tatum and Harang can't get together, so they'll straighten out the signs.
Reds fans, for a great tasting quality meal for your family, pick up a bag of JTM beef or chicken Philly cheesesteaks from your favorite grocer. JTM, food, family, and fun. Maybe that's what they were talking about out there, where they're going to eat after the game. Sometimes that'll loosen you up a little bit.
I know where you're going. You got out early last night.
Yes, I did.
2-hour and 5-minute special got you on the road. And what'd you take home last night?
I went with some chicken wings.
What a surprise.
Yeah, well.
Just wings? I can't believe that.
No.
Tell the truth now. We got truth serum here. It's known as Coca-Cola.
I got a little ice cream.
Okay.
I had Coke with my wings, but I did have a little ice cream after.
Did you tell Ashley?
Oh, she knows.
There's the one ball. That's a strike. Get the hot wings.
Yeah, I don't like them real hot. I just like them just good, if that makes sense.
Is there a bad wings for you? 1-1. In the air to right. This will stay in the park. Gomes under it. So good job by Harang. He walked 2 and gets out of trouble. Gets Belliard, who homered against him earlier. Reds still trail 1-0 going to the bottom of 7.
Watch the play by Zimmerman at third base, coming in and throwing out Willie Taveras. I talked about landing in the batter's box. Watch where he lands here. Look at this. He is at home plate. There's home plate right there. That's how far Zimmerman got in to get the baseball and then got underneath it with his hand and threw a perfect strike to Dunn at first base. That's getting it done.
There's nobody better this day and age at charging the slow roller in the infield than number 11 for the Washington Nationals. Our Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Well, here come the Reds. Joey Votto will lead it off. The Reds had 3 hits in the 5th, but nothing to show for it after the final out double play, a fly ball to center and the throw by Morgan to home plate. And in the end, you have to feel that Niger Morgan, and we saw him turn around and look down at the grass after he gave up the blue pit and then another base hit after that. So all of a sudden there was 2 runners on when he should have been out of the inning, and he made good on it. He came up with a throw good enough to nail Harang at the plate for the double play. And there you go. And everybody's sitting there saying, well, if Votto had come up in the last inning, that would have been the run, right?
Yeah, that's the old shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yep. Leadoff base hit for Joey in the 6th.
People don't realize that everything changes when runners are in scoring position. You may not get the same pitch. You may not get a pitch at all.
But Joey, a leadoff hit here in the 6th. That'll rustle him around in a bit in the bullpen for Washington. No one's up tossing as yet, but a couple of guys are starting to stretch. Here's Brandon. strikeout and a fly ball out. Reds got a walk to Taveras in the first, a double by Gomes, and a walk to Rosales in the second. Then the hits by Harang, Taveras, and Giannis in the fifth. By the way, Florida Marlins lead Colorado 3-0. Josh Johnson of the Marlins has a no-hitter through 6 and 9 strikeouts for the big guy, Josh Johnson. Votto off first.
That is a big time changeup right there. Following a good fastball, he comes back with a changeup. We saw it in the first inning, the way he was gripping it with that okay grip. Basically just using the last 3 fingers, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky finger, and really creating some great arm speed.
Down and away for a ball, 2-1.
When you create that much arm speed throwing a changeup, hitters don't swing at the ball. They're swinging at how hard your arm is moving. They can't be swinging at the ball. It's not there yet.
Greg Maddux always said, most pitches it's pitch location, except for the changeup. It's your motion. It is pitch deception.
All you got to do is get it close. It doesn't matter if it's high, low. Just get it close. Ideally, you'd like it down and away from the hitter, but for the most part, you can throw it belt high right down the heart of the plate, and you'll get swings or pop-ups.
3 balls, 1 strike to Brandon. That's caught in the air. It'll be a double play. Nothing you could do about that. Even if he's not moving off the bag, that's a double play. The most inopportune luck for Brandon Phillips. Adam Dunn, nice job of gloving it and tapping the bag.
Good pitch, good swing. Nice play by Dunn. He had just turned around to square up to play defense, and here comes the baseball.
Talking to Pat Corrales before the game today with Adam Dunn. Dunn, of course, here's a big swing from Nix. Did he get enough of it? Going back, warning track. It's off the wall. Going into second will be Lance. Nix will have his 23rd double of the season, and the Reds have the run in scoring position in a 1-0 ball game.
Now you look back and you start thinking about, well, what that should have cut like that. If that ball had got by, well, what about this? You can't play the game by looking backwards. You can only play the game by looking ahead, and that's what Nix does there.
Flanks it off the wall. His 23rd 2-bagger. He's sitting at second. And here comes Johnny Gomes. Gomes doubled to left in the second, struck out in the fourth. So he faces Mock for the 3rd time. Our Geico Direct quote of the night comes from Johnny after his 3-home-run game last night. I was in AAA to start this thing off, and now, not too many at-bats later, 3 home runs. Wow, what a special night for him. He had a big smile on his face, and rightly so, after 3 homers last night. Riggleman out to dial up a checkup from the neck up for his catcher and his pitcher, Garrett Mock.
And he usually doesn't go out there unless he's going to take the pitcher out of the game. It's kind of a weird situation with as much talking that's going on. You're going to stick with the kid.
Now, when you take over a team that's in the cellar, your first job isn't, it's to win game, but it's to get guys believing in themselves, and that's what that trip is for.
Building confidence.
Every place he's been, guys will tell you he's done that. Well, let's see if the Reds can convert. A base hit from Votto, but he's doubled up. Now with 2 outs, here's Nix. They will walk Gomes intentionally. And he may have asked Mock what he wanted to do, too, even though he's a youngster. So they won't take a chance with Gomes. With first base open, they'll walk him. And now here comes Rosales. Do you let Rosales hit here? You've got the left-hander Dickerson, the switch hitter Sutton still on the bench.
Well, I think if you bring a left-hander to the plate, they're going to bring Sean Burnett into the game. Actually, it's Ron Malone instead of Burnett.
They just got up to toss. Well, they're tossing rather rapidly now.
I'm not sure that Malone would be ready if you ran a left-hander up there right now anyway.
Yep. I mean, he's hustling to get ready. He just got up. And Rosales will hit. Rosales tonight, a walk and a strikeout. Tying run at second in a one-run ball game. Tatum, the catcher, on deck. Remember, Kevin Barker joined the club. He's also available on the bench. Barker up from Louisville tonight. That's down and away.
Nice pick by Nieves.
So the decision process, Riggleman doesn't go to the bullpen. Dusty doesn't go to the bench. It's up to Rosales here with 2 outs.
3.
Waves at a pitch out of the strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Sometimes as a youngster, you've got to remember that it's not always about you being the hero. Sometimes you take a pitch, you walk on down to first base and let the guy behind you get it done.
And he does there. 3 balls, 1 strike. And he worked the walk with Tatum due up next. There's ball 4. Good eye by Adam. He takes the walk, his second walk. The bases are loaded. Riggleman just shakes his head. And now we'll see what he does. Here comes Tatum. The pitcher Harang is due up next. We did see both Valentine and Barker grab a bat, start to loosen down below in the Reds dugout. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs, and they'll stay where they are. Tatum against Mock here in the 6th. Greg tonight, fly to left, fly to center, 0 for 2. Nix, who doubles, represents the tying run at third. Gomes, the go-ahead run at second. That's wide, 1-1.
I think that pitch there is what Dusty is looking at after he saw 4 of the, actually 5 of those to Rosales. He could not get the fastball over the plate. Riggleman knows that, but Riggleman knows that if he goes out and gets him, he's got lefties off the bench to hit.
Dusty's got everybody with the bat. Drew Sutton, Valentine, they're all right behind him. Swing and a miss. If Tatum can prolong the inning. There's Valentine, right behind him is Sutton. Hannigan stretching too. So everybody's ready here in the 6th. Barker already grabbed a bat. He's been loosening for the last half inning also. Did he go? Says Greg Gibson. So it's 2-2. Well, a unique inning, Cowboy. Sometimes in these last 3 batters, we would have seen 3 changes or 4. And everybody's playing it straight. We'll see if Tatum can deliver. 2-2. There's ball 3. So 2 outs, a full count, 3-2.
Runners going.
Now a base hit would easily score 2 and give the Reds the lead.
Now what Tatum has to realize is that he does not have to swing the bat to get an RBI. If it's close, hack. If not, let it go.
Fireworks night crowd on their feet hoping for some fireworks from the Reds. They trail at 1-0 here in the 6th. Popped up in the infield. Belliard calling. Got it. And that'll do it. The Reds strand 3 in the 6th inning. They've stranded 8 and still trail at 1-0. Fourth homer and his 9th hit in 21 at-bats against Aaron Harang. That's a 1-0 lead. The Reds' best chance, a base hit by Janisch, but a throw from Nyjer Morgan to the plate nails Aaron Harang trying to score with 2 outs. And then the Reds' best opportunity came in the 6th with Votto on a line drive double play. The Reds were to get 2 hits and 4 base runners in the inning, but did not score. They left the bases full. They have 8 left on base through 6. We're going to the 7th inning, and Aaron Harang, who was on deck, will stay in the game. So Harang still with a chance to come back in this one, as they did not pinch hit for him. Here's Nieves, the catcher, will lead it off top of the 7th. First pitch swinging, fly ball to right. It's carrying to the warning track, to the wall. That's going to be out of here. Nieves' first home run of the year. A fly ball that looked like it would stay in the park just kept carrying, and it's gone. And it's 2-0.
I mean, the flags are not blowing, but yet, I mean, I know the pitch was up, but my goodness, a right-hander going that way, he never hit a home run in his life. Guess there's a first time for everything.
Gomes thought he'd have a chance for it too, but it just kept going. So Nieves gets his first home run. It's 2-0, and that'll be it for Mock. 6 innings pitched, no runs, 4 walks, and his 101 pitch effort of the night. So Mock has at least a 2-0 lead to exit with, and Padilla pinch hits here in the 9th spot in the 7th inning.
And I really thought that Jim Riggleman did a good job by allowing his young pitcher to fight through that adversity. It could have cost him the ball game.
Yep.
But either way, whether he wins or whether he loses, he's pitched in a tough spot, and it allows him to know next time, well, I can succeed here. Or if he'd have failed, next time he would know he's got to buckle down even further.
All part of the growing process.
Win-win.
That's fouled off. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Padilla. Nieves and Mock talking over that inning. The Catman, Steve McCaddy, tapping his pitcher and his catcher on the shoulders after a job well done. That's a swing and a miss. The D is retired, first out of the inning. And here comes Niger Morgan. Morgan 2 hits tonight. Reached on an infield hit in the first, and then was doubled up when he tried to steal and slid into second on a fly ball to center. And Tavares' throw doubled him up at first. He flied to left. Nice catch by Nix, robbed him of a hit. Then he singled to center in the fifth. Off the end of the bat, Rosales. 2 away. And here comes the shortstop Guzman. Hey, catch the Bearcats classics and relive last year's Big East championship season by watching a great game from 2008. Monday at noon, the Bearcats battle the Orange in Conference Showdown on your home for the Bearcats, Fox Sports Ohio. Syracuse, Cincinnati, that's Monday at noon right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
I cannot believe the ball that Nieves hit got out of here. Like a pop-up.
That's the second time Meringue's been burned on that his last 2 starts here.
You can't let the ballpark bother you, though. You just got to keep going at it. That's what he's doing.
Yep.
The thing about it is he stayed in the ball game long enough now at this point when his position does come up. Maybe they'll put a rally together for him.
He gets to the next inning, if they do pinch hit for him, which you expect them to do, and the Reds rally, it's still his chance to win it.
Yeah, you almost have to hit for him now at 110th pitch.
Yep. Game 3 of the series tomorrow. Johnny Cueto will try to even his record at 9-9. He goes against J.D. Martin. And on Sunday, Justin Lear against John Lannon. Allister last night, Mock tonight, Martin tomorrow, and Lannon. Lannon's the only one of the 4 who was in the original starting rotation for this Washington club. Just getting a piece. Guzman stays alive.
Jorge Sosa in the bullpen.
The right-hander loosening.
Next pitcher, former closer for a little while with the Braves, wasn't he?
Got some ability, some movement, some velocity. Just trying to find direction. Full count 3-2. Looped in the air to left. Will anybody get there? Long run. Yanis, he holds on. What a catch by Paul Yanis. A diving, leaping catch at the foul line. He hauls it in foul territory. We'll show it again when we return. Now it's time for the 7th inning stretch presented by Cincinnati Bell.
amazes me as he runs after the ball. He called the ball as he was moving past the third baseman, Adam Rosales. Rosales just stopped running, and he stopped running not because he couldn't get to the ball. He stopped running because he heard Giannis call it. And when you call it, you got to catch it.
Our John Morrell hot dog play of the game, a brilliant catch by the slick fielding shortstop Paul Giannis. Giannis due up third in the inning. Harang due to lead it off, but Dickerson will pinch hit for him. The Rice product, a dandy catch for Paul Giannis. So let's see if the Reds can come back against Jorge Sosa and do it to give Aaron Harang a chance to win it. Harang pitched well. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. And the 2 runs, of course, scoring via the home runs. Here's Sosa, his 8th appearance. Dickerson leads it off in the 9th spot. Taveras and Giannis due to follow. To left. Harris there, and he hauls it in.
Hit that ball good. He just happened to be playing in that way.
So 1 away. Harang had a base hit back in the 5th. Here is his line for the night. The 7 innings, 6 hits, the 2 runs, each scoring on a homer. Each of them earned. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and another night of minimal run support. You can't get more minimal than tonight. Zippo so far. That's a strike to Taveras. Willie walked on a 3-2 pitch in the 1st and was still on first when the inning ended. Robbed of a hit on a great play by Zimmerman in the 3rd, trying to bunt his way on, and then singled to left in the 5th. Sosa signed by the Nationals this winter. In Atlanta, he did everything. He was a starter, he was a reliever. There's a bloop. It'll get past the shortstop into left. There's a base hit. So Willie is on for the 3rd time, 2 hits and a walk. And here comes Giannis. Singled his last time up, 1 for 3. The Fan Zone at Great American Ballpark, the place to be before Reds home games. Enjoy food, drinks, games, and live music at the AT&T Concert Series, featuring some of the best bands in the tri-state. Test your skills out at a variety of interactive games, including the Chiquita High Heat Speed Pitch, Carpet Land Run It Out Track, and visit the Recreation's Outlet Play Area. Get your Reds tickets at 381 Reds or visit Reds.com. We got an interactive area there. We could have the Jeff Brantley Coca-Cola drinking contest. That's a winner
For a straw.
Here's Giannis. Votto due up next, so they've got Sean Burnett up in the bullpen. The lefty has started to loosen. Tying run at the plate, trying to get Votto to the plate somehow here to pay off. Did he hold on it? Yes, he did. Nick Massett loosening in the Reds bullpen. Giannis peers down at Mark Berry, who rolls through some signs in the 3rd base coach's box. In the air to center field, hit pretty good, but Morgan will be there. Taveras retreats to first, 2 away. And here comes Joey. Votto led off the 6th with a single, and another one of those key points of a game. Leading off first, Brandon Phillips hit a shot down the first base line. Adam Dunn reached over, gloved it, and just tapped the bag to double Votto off. Votto had no chance to get back, and you know, and he knows who he's going to face here. He will not face Sosa. Out comes Jim Riggleman. Here comes the lefty Sean Burnett while the pitching change takes place. Time for our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Once again tonight. Washington leads it 2-0. Going to the bullpen is
brother at the game again.
Yep. Here's Sean Burnett. Guy came up in the Pittsburgh organization. He came over in the Niger Morgan deal. He and Morgan both have been productive. 58th appearance. This guy started as a starter. Tommy John surgery. Now he's working out of the bullpen here in Washington.
He is the lefty specialist out of this bullpen.
And brought in especially to face Joey Votto. Highest average, close and late, and you know about Votto's numbers with the Reds. With runners in scoring position, he continues to be the Reds' best hitter, over 300 all year. Votto tonight struck out twice against Mock and then singled to center to start the 6th inning. Against Burnett, he's 2 for 6.
And you can see Burnett, he's not your typical left-handed thrower. He throws over the top, but yet he steps towards the first base batter's circle before he delivers the baseball. He throws across his body. It's tough to pick the baseball up.
Holding left-handers to a 195 average. That's why he's brought in there. Votto disdains the pitch down and away. There's the numbers. Pretty good both ways.
And a lot of it is because of the way that he hides the baseball. When you step across your body, the ball stays behind your back for a long time.
Fouled off 2-2.
I mean, Votto was right on that ball, hit it right on the screws, ends up a good bit late on the pitch.
Nationals bullpen has been a disaster all year. You can believe it, it's even better now than it was when the Reds faced this team last time. Here's the 2-2. And that's a call, strike 3. Joey thought it was outside. He strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. The Reds strand a runner, still trail it 2-0. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. Pleasant night in the Queen City tonight. Reds against the Washington Nationals. The Nationals lead this one. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 6 left on base, no runs, 7 hits, no errors, 9 left on base. Here's Nick Massett, who'll take over for Aaron Harang. Harang, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. Each of the runs scoring via homers. One by Belliar, the other by Nieves' first. 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. So Massa trying to keep it where it is and give the Reds a chance to score and maybe come back and win this one. So another night of no run support for Aaron Harang, Cowboy.
It's amazing that when Aaron Harang pitches, regardless of who's on the other side, the runs just don't come. And you hate it for a guy like Aaron Harang, because it's not just that he's a good baseball player, he's a good person. I mean, the stuff that he does in the community is beyond things that you normally see a player do. Both he and his wife, Jim. You just pull for him, you know, you want him to get a win.
There's Zimmerman, 0 for 3, a ground out, 2 strikeouts. 16-game hitting streak on the line. And the one thing, you know, you talk about setting an example, and sometimes an example comes by the way that you play the game. But what Aaron Harang has done in the last 2 years, a tough stretch last year in the second half, this stretch from May the 25th through last week without a win, is show the young pitchers on this staff how to conduct yourself. That's a line error. Caught.
Oh, my goodness.
Zimmerman thought he had a base hit to stretch his hitting streak, and only a brilliant play by Paul Janisch snuffs that hope out. Here's another look at his second great play of the night by Janisch.
I don't know how Paul Janisch held himself in the air, but it was almost like he went up and he had to double clutch to hold himself there just for that extra split second.
It took perfect timing, hanging high, and here's an out. So Zimmerman's chance for a hit to stretch his hitting streak snuffed out, and this may be his last at bat of the night. I don't think there's any doubt, Jeff. I watched Janisch in college and when he was at Rice, and watching him since he became a Reds minor leaguer. I mean, defensively, he can play up here.
Oh, no doubt. I don't think there's ever been a doubt about that, at least not in my book.
And he should get the opportunity to show what he could do during the course of the next few weeks. With Alex Gonzalez, if you joined us late, Gonzalez traded today from the Reds back to the Boston Red Sox.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of guys that have an opportunity on this team that is going to mean more about next year than it means right now. One of them is on the mound right now, and that's Nick Massa.
2-1 strike.
He's got a golden opportunity to be a setup man to Cordero or the next closer in waiting. I mean, there's no doubt about his physical skills. It's just a matter of putting together a good game plan and executing it each time out.
Bassett went to the final week of spring training in the battle for the 5th spot in the rotation. And he's a guy that could either be in your rotation or he could be your closer someday.
Right. And the thing about it is, if you're going to be at the back end of the bullpen, you have to throw strikes. And I don't mean where you throw strikes every once in a while. It's got to be a predominant part of your game. You have to challenge the hitters that come to the plate.
Locked up done on that pitch. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Adam will walk for the 3rd time tonight. Well, Reds fans are seeing exactly what he did for Cincinnati. 3 walks, that's 87 on the season. He trailed only Adrian Gonzalez with 90 walks, who leads the league coming in. Dunn will exit. Pinch runner for him. Gives us a chance to remind you can follow all the Reds action with MLB.com's @Back 2009 on your iPhone and iPod Touch. Get real-time play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Reds.com on your iPhone or iPod Touch to purchase, and don't miss any Reds baseball action all season long. So Gonzalez comes in to run for him. Pretty good speed down at first. And here comes Willingham. Willingham singled, flied out, and walked in the 6th inning.
The thing that Massett has the most difficult time with is getting that first pitch strike across the plate. He's really working on that two-seam fastball, and that's really not a first pitch strike type of pitch. You either go down and away with that four-seamer or down and away with that breaking ball.
That's down and away, but too far down, too far away, and it's 2-1. When you watch Massett as he throws the baseball, the consistency in the break on his two-seamer, the consistency of location with his four-seam fastball, and the consistency of the break on his breaking ball, they are all very iffy. It's a game-by-game struggle for him, and you can't be a guy that's counted on in the ninth inning if you don't have control of yourself. And if you're always out there throwing it as hard as you can, then you're never going to have control of your stuff. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Massett to the stretch. Runner not going, and that's ball 3. And the one thing a pitching coach and a manager want more than anything else is to know what you're going to bring to the mound every time.
Because you could have one night where Massett's going to come in the ball game, get a ground ball double play and a strikeout in 4 or 5 pitches. Then you're going to have another night where he comes in and he might throw 35 pitches. That ain't going to get it.
3-2 down to third, but foul.
That's one of the reasons that David Weathers pitched as long as he did, and that's the reason that a lot of teams liked him in their bullpen. He wasn't a strikeout artist. He wasn't a guy that was going to overpower you, but the manager knew exactly what he was going to get every single night.
Three-two, 1 out, runner going. And it's ball 4. So Willingham has walked for the second time. 2 straight walks issued by Massett here in the 8th inning. You know, the irony of that too is I mean David Weathers will tell you that. Ron Valone, the same thing. I think they both finally learned that when they became starters, and then they were able to understand the importance of first pitch strikes, and that carried them into being very serviceable and outstanding relievers too.
Right.
And Weathers learned to command down and away against right-handers. Nobody does it better in the league right now than he does.
And as a reliever, you have to forget about strikeouts. Strikeouts will come. But if you start out, as Massett is doing here, with trying to make a guy swing and miss on the first pitch that you throw, you are going to be in big trouble. And not only that, your infielders and your outfielders will get on their heels. They won't make the extended plays that they normally would make if they're ready to go.
I mean, after the game last night, talking to Lance Nix, who made 3 brilliant plays last night, he said, you know, it's enjoyable to play behind Bronson Arroyo because he's got a rhythm. He keeps throwing strikes. And sure, I mean, there are nights where he's giving up hits, but you're on your toes, you're ready to go.
Get it and go, get it and go, get it and go.
Swing and a miss. 2-1. Now Ray Miller had the T-shirt that said work fast, change speeds, throw strikes. Yours would be get it and go. Get it and go, get it and go.
Mine would be pitch 1 pitch ahead.
That'll be that title for your book.
Pitch 1 pitch ahead.
2-1 on the corner.
Because if you're always thinking 1 pitch ahead, then there's no reason to get nervous. You already know what you're going to throw. You're already thinking about it, and there's no reason to throw a ball.
And you don't second guess the pitch you're delivering, which is the most important
because
thing.
you already know what you're going to throw.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Reds double play depth in the infield. There's a swing and a miss. Massett gets the strikeout.
And that's a great strikeout. It's a sinker that runs down and away from Willie Harris.
That's a great pitch.
But you're also talking about a 228 hitter, and that ball is out of the strike zone. The 2 guys before him, 282 and 300, Willingham and Dunn, they didn't swing at that.
And here's Belliard, 1 for 3. The big one was a big one, a homer that gave the Nationals a 1-0 lead to lead off the 5th. Joined us late. Aaron Harang pitched well, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Gave up 2 homers, 1 to that guy right there, the other one to Will Nieves, his first home run.
Harang pitched great. He really did. Kept the team in the ball game. I don't even count those as mistakes.
That's how you give up 2 runs a ball game all season long. You're going to win the ERA title.
You're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike to Belliard. Way out in front, 1-2.
And the pitch that Belliard hit out of the ballpark was a breaking ball on a first pitch from Aaron Harang that was down in the strike zone. It was in the center of the plate, but that's where a first pitch is supposed to be. It's supposed to be over the plate. Belliard just happened to guess right at the right time.
And he is one of those guess hitters.
He is.
Always has been.
Very much so.
When he guesses right, he can put some numbers up. 2-2. Waves at it, held on to by Tatum, so Massett walks 2 but gets out of the trouble. Going to the bottom of the 8th. Reds need some runs. They trail it 2-0. Phillips, Nix, and Gomes do up. An assist to the game. It came from Niger Morgan. Paul Janisch gets a base hit. Here's Morgan charging, trying to score from second is Aaron Harang. The throw up the line, but they're in time to get Aaron Harang at the plate. At that point, it would have represented the tying run. Morgan gets the assist on the one hop. A nice play by Nieves, who holds on, and Harang, even with the collision at the plate, is out. That's our Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist to the game. For Morgan, retribution of sort, because it was a miscommunication on a ball that he probably should have caught that allowed Harang to get on a bloop base hit in the inning. So Niger made up with it with a fine throw on that base hit. Well, here are the Reds in the bottom of the 8th. Brandon Phillips. Phillips struck out first time up, fly to center. Then in the 6th, after Joey Votto led off with a single, he hit a line drive over the first base bag that Adam Dunn caught, tapped the bag, and doubled off Votto.
That was a killer.
Yeah, that was a key point of this ball game. Past the diving second baseman into center field. Gonzalez, who stayed in the game, moves to second. Belliard moves to first. Right under the glove of Gonzalez. So Gonzalez is over at second and Belliard's over at first with the first baseman's glove in place of Dunn. And here comes Vladimir Ballantine to pinch hit with the left-hander Burnett out there. Ballantine, first at bat of the night.
He's not going to hit off Burnett.
And out comes Riggleman. And there'll be a pitching change. While the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio. Elijah Dukes will come into the game in right field. He'll hit in the 9th spot. Bergman will enter the game in the 5th spot. So it's a righty-righty matchup. Here comes the hard swinging pinch hitter for the Reds against Jason Bergman.
Bergman is exactly the opposite of today's starter in this ball game, Garrett Mock. Bergman has started over the last 2 years. Now he's in the bullpen, whereas Mock had been in the bullpen earlier, and now he's starting.
Here's Ballantine. He's got a 7-game hitting streak, 10 for 24, over 400 during that period. Had a hit in each of the 2 games he played in St. Louis. And he's trying to keep it rolling for the Reds here in the 8th after a leadoff single by Brandon Phillips. Dribbled down the third base line. They'll let it roll. It will go foul. Now, as good as Zimmerman is where he was playing, there's no way he was going to throw him out. So wisely he let it roll. It goes foul, and it's 0-2.
Boy, that baby stays right. If it hadn't rolled off the grass, it would have stayed fair.
So back is Valentine. Gomes on deck. Still left on the bench for Cincinnati, Ryan Hannigan. Kevin Barker just called up, the right-handed first baseman, right-handed swinging first baseman, and Drew Sutton, the switch hitter. Bergman to the stretch. In the air to right. It's going to stay in the park, though. Dukes is over. He has it. And there's your first out of the 8th.
That ball ran in like it got in on the hands of Valentine. He's got a lot of strength in that young body of his. If he can get the bat heads of the baseball, he will usually get some carry. Actually, that was a breaking ball, George, that he hit off the handle of the bat. He just got fooled.
So Phillips still sitting down at first, and here comes Johnny. Gomes got the Reds' first hit back in the 2nd, a double. Struck out and then was intentionally walked in the 6th. Fouled off, kicks away, strike 1.
Gomes reminds me of the swing of Jack Clark.
You're right. Yeah.
Jack would swing as hard as he possibly could in case he hit it. And he hit
often
it a
did.
lot.
Whoop. Great to see Jack down in spring training. His son was playing. We had a chance to see him down in Sarasota. And he could hit. Oof.
Remember a ball he hit foul off of me off the mobile net sign, which was in the 2nd deck at the far end of Candlestick. Matt Williams called timeout, came in and said, JB, you think you could pitch him away?
Way away.
Yeah. In other words, he didn't want it coming down there by him.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
The only reason I remember the mobile sign is it was so far, it was the only sign that you could actually read.
Swing and a miss. He gets him down and away. 2nd out. Gomes strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 2 outs in the inning.
This is where Johnny Gomes is susceptible. The breaking ball down and away. It starts in the good hitting area, which is where Gomes likes it, right in that middle of the plate, but then the ball exits stage left and Gomes runs out of bat.
So with Dickerson already used, Dusty, with the exception of Sutton, has his right-hander still in there here in the 8th against this right-hander. Here's Rosales. Good at bat last time for Adam. Worked a walk. That loaded the bases for Tatum, but Tatum popped up in the 6th inning with the bases loaded to end the inning. That's 4 walks for Adam Rosales. That's 5 walks for Adam Rosales in the last 4 games. For this free swinger,
good eye.
That's good news.
Being a little more patient.
Into right field. Did he get enough? Dukes will catch up to it at the warning track, and the Reds will strand another runner. They still trail it 2-0. We're going to the 9th. And by Wendy's, it's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Great to have you with us. George Brand, the Cowboy, Jeff Brandley coming back. Will be Jeff Pecoro and Jim Day for Reds Live post game. Down in the truck, our producer tonight, Brian Hunterman, our director, Carl Patterson, Matt Sigafus, Lauren White, busily working down in the truck, and Kent Weaver, of course, as usual, producing pregame festivities and our jack of all trades here at Great American Ballpark. Here's Francisco Cordero, who'll come in to pitch the top of the 9th inning, and Valentin stays in the game in left field. So Cordero's job, keep it where it is and give the Reds a chance to come up with a rally in the 9th.
And at this point, there is no save opportunity in this ball game for the home team. If you're going to get one inning out of your closer, which he needs one, he hasn't pitched in 3 days.
Phillips over to first. Nieves is retired. Nieves 2 for 4 after that ground ball out. There's Valentin over and left. Nieves had a single back in the 3rd and then a leadoff homer off Harang in the 7th, his first home run.
Which we're still trying to figure out how he got out of it.
I mean, Harang has been victimized twice by fence scrapers. The other was Craig Counsell when we were playing Milwaukee. Counsell didn't believe it went out, and I don't think Nieves believed it went out either. There's Elijah Dukes, first at bat. Comes here in the 9th after he was double switched into the game. Mets won 3-0 over San Francisco. Bobby Parnell got the win, his 3rd win of the season. Here's a pop up in the infield. The Gold Glover, Brandon Phillips, closing on it, 2 away. Jeff Francoeur 1 for 3. Barazito took the loss for the Giants. Rodriguez picked up his 26th save. This afternoon, the Cubs won 17-2 over the Pirates. Derek Lee had 3 hits and 7 runs batted in. Randy Wells won another, his 9th win of the year. Boy, what a boom Randy Wells has been.
He throws strikes. He throws strikes and keeps the ball down. Works quick. It's amazing.
Milwaukee leads Houston 10-2. Felipe Lopez already has 3 hits and a homer. Ryan Braun a homer in that game too. Wandy Rodriguez was chased early. 9 earned runs in 3 innings. He's been lights out against the Reds, but he's hammered tonight by Milwaukee.
He's been pitching awfully well against everybody, it seemed like.
You're not kidding. Florida leads Colorado 6-2. They're in the 9th inning. Josh Johnson had a no-hitter early in that. Tapping the bag is Cordero. That's about as easy as it gets for an inning for Coco Cordero. Reds try to rally going to the bottom of 9. Ronnie Belliard's home run. That Belliard home run made it 1-0 in the 5th, his 4th of the year. The Reds had a chance to tie it, but a throw from Niger Morgan nails Aaron Harang at the plate. The Reds have another chance after a leadoff base hit by Votto, but that line drive picked off by Adam Dunn. Votto doubled up. And how about Will Nieves? His first home run makes it 2-0 in the 7th. That's the lead that the Washington Nationals will take into the bottom of the 9th inning. For the Nationals, 2 runs, only 6 hits, no errors. They've left 8. For the Reds, no runs, 8 hits. They've left 10 on base. The Reds trying to rally here in the 9th. For Cincinnati, with the 8th hitter coming up, Tatum will lead it off. Drew Sutton has moved into the on-deck circle with the 9th hitter due up next, and they'll face Mike McDougal, who's had a comeback kind of year.
He's got that ERA back down, opponent's batting average back down. Still got more walks than strikeouts, but he's just got to keep working.
McDougal came in the 9th last night, and after Johnny Gomes had hit 3 straight home runs, he struck him out last time up. The 4th at bat for Gomes on a breaking ball down and away. Talking to the Nationals after the game, they said it's probably the first breaking ball he threw in about 2 weeks. And the other part of that sidelight to the story was the last time Gomes was a hard hit ball. Gonzalez has it. Tatum's retired. The last time Gomes had 3 home runs. The 3rd one came off McDougal. That was in the American League when he was with Kansas City. So there was a track record there.
A little drama. A little drama.
1 away. Tatum retired, and here's the switch hitter Drew Sutton with Taveras, the leadoff hitter, on deck. And that 5-run rally by the Reds in San Francisco in the 9th inning. Drew Sutton started it all with a bunt base hit. Well, they're not sleeping on him this time because Zimmerman's right at the edge of the grass for the first pitch. They were playing him deep at 3rd. And he just rolled one down the 3rd base line for a leadoff base hit. In fact, the Reds got 5 runs in the inning. That was the only base hit they had. Walks, wild pitches, 2 errors. The Giant defense collapsed.
But that's what happens. That's what can happen.
Sure.
If you put pressure on the defense, make them execute plays.
2 balls, no strikes. McDougal signed a minor league deal back in early May. Was at AAA Syracuse and then brought back up the end of May, and he's had a bounce back kind of year after a couple of struggling years. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He burst upon the scene as a big-time closer in Kansas City.
Well, he's got a phenomenal fastball. Just got to be a little bit meaner.
In the hole, Guzman, backhand, long throw. Count him by a step. Nice play by Guzman, who's been kind of quiet down there at short. How often do you see that, Cowboy? You go all night long without a ground ball, and then in the 9th with 1 out,
you get one.
You got to be ready.
And it's in the hole, so you got to really put a little extra on it. Now your arm's throbbing like it feels like it's going to fall off.
Saturday afternoons were made for baseball. This week, Fox brings you the National Game of the Week. Ryan Howard and the National League East leading Phillies head to Atlanta to take on Chipper Jones and the Braves. Fox Saturday Baseball this week at 4 on Fox. Phillies won 3-2 over Atlanta. Madsen gets the win. Colorado lost to Florida. The Marlins held on 6-5 the final. Johnson got the win. He wins his 12th. Told you about the Cubs win 17-2 over Pittsburgh. Mets 3-0 over San Francisco. That's a 1 hopper to second. Gonzalez will take care of it. Taveras is retired. And Ronnie Belliard grabs the final out of the game after he got the